Periscope, right on there. Facebook, second place. D-Live, third place. YouTube, fourth place. Right on, guys. What's up, everybody? I am James Hake, as you know. This is the Hake Report. It is Thursday, October 1st. Wake up, wake up, wake up. 2020, 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. And I'm going to be touching on, let's see, a Trump supporter hit a journalist, supposedly, allegedly Trump supporter. And he hit the journalist's camera, which is wrong, but I don't know the whole story. And people are acting outraged. All of a sudden, journalists acting outraged. Decent young men are getting smeared like crazy, as you know, the Proud Boys. Parscale, too. Parscale, they were making all kinds of crazy accusations. And then later, people are correcting the record. Or are they? I don't know. I don't know what the real story is. I have some Hake news items that I touched on the Jesse Lee Peterson show to talk about today. The police ambush getting prosecuted. They caught the suspect, the alleged suspect, you know, the would-be cop killers. And reparations in California, and also, honestly, the United States, they held this dumb hearing over a year ago. I'm going to show you some pictures of the people who were for the reparations and some who were against. Very nice. There's some decent black people and all that. As you know, there's no men's forum tonight. Jesse Lee Peterson will be out on a speaking engagement along with Nicole. But I will be here filling in along with the faithful crew, as some call them, dismissively. Experts, as Jesse Lee Peterson calls them. And specialists, as Art from Ohio calls them. Very nice. Chris and Joel Friday here will be here Friday along with me and you guys. Nice, huh? Anyway, you can call in 888-775-3773. That's 888-775-3773. Let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Wow, shudder. I happened to look up at the final picture in that slideshow of the intro. Shout out to Chris and Joel Friday for making that happen every beginning of the show when I give them pics and stuff. That was a picture of the director of the commission on the presidential debates. And I will be talking, there's some callers who want to talk about the debates and things like that. I will be talking about that. Ooh. It's like a skinny lady who's, I'm suspecting, a bit liberal. The commission on the presidential debates is allegedly talking about whether to mute Trump's mic and stuff like that when Joe Biden is talking, and vice versa. It's so dumb. They're acting like Trump was the problem with the debate. No, the other two were the problem. Trump is the solution for America, or part. You know, he's part of the solution, I say. So. But we, the Trump supporters, we, the Christians, the conservatives, the decent people who love America, want America to get back on track with morality, with decency, with freedom, actual freedom, of which liberals, most of the people who are anti-Trump, have no concept of actual freedom. They don't believe in the right to discriminate. Jesse Lee Peterson had an excellent monologue at the beginning of today's show for his show about everybody discriminates, and it's natural. It's right. Or you discriminate for the sake of what's right, or you discriminate for the sake of what's evil, or you just discriminate because you have the right to discriminate. It's ridiculous. But we, the decent ones, have to make sure we're setting the right standard. Here's a clip of a man who, I told you guys about him in Hake News. The Drudge headline reads, MAGA attacks photojournalist before a rally. Is Drudge liberal? Some of you guys claim he is. Or maybe it's not even he anymore. It's they. Because the website's changed so much. So many ads like crazy. A privacy policy bar at the very bottom seems to be new. You guys have been noticing or claiming that he's gone really anti-Trump and all that stuff. Whatever the case, it links to a local news story, CBS Minnesota, Minneapolis specifically. Before a Trump rally, along the road, lined with cars and Trump supporters and Trump haters, one guy was being followed by this WCCO, local news station, I guess CBS related. His name is Dyman, D-Y-M-A-N-H, Choun. C-H-H, two H's, C-H-H-O-U-N. Looks like I don't know if he's Somalian or some type of Asian or Eskimo or what, but he looks a little bit, Asian-esque. I don't know. Maybe he's Indian or something. But, I found a headline or two about him from, I guess, his alma mater, his college. But this guy was following a supposed Trump supporter, older man, looks like a boomer. And this man is talking, seems a little bit aggressive. And he seems to be reacting to evil, overreacting perhaps to evil. And he seems to maybe take it out on this guy who may have been innocent, this photojournalist, Daiman Choun. Well, listen to this news report about this incident, which took place, I don't know, earlier this week, presumably. Check it out.
Political rallies are meant to energize each party's base. They've also become increasingly emotionally charged.
Tonight, one of our photojournalists was attacked while gathering video in Duluth. Dayton Murray was on assignment to get reaction ahead of the president's rally. Watch what happens when he encounters a Trump supporter who's confronting a group of Biden supporters.
You guys want to be peaceful? Be peaceful. You want to be violent? Come to me and I'll...
As we saw that man hit the camera phone out of our photographer's hand, Dayton was not hurt. He identified himself as media and was recording the video in a public space. That group did back off. We did report this incident to the Duluth police, who said they are investigating.
Whatever. They're acting like this. Well, I don't know. They're not exactly acting like they may have been part of the problem. The mainstream media. I don't know about these people specifically. The mainstream media has been inciting violence and riots around the country. And probably if this is a Minneapolis report, probably in Minneapolis themselves too. That's where there have been violent riots. Yeah, exactly. Joel is asking, why is that a big deal? It's wrong to smack a camera out or a camera phone out of the hands of somebody. Although he was not socially distanced, as I mentioned in the Hake News report in hour 2 today of the Jesse Lee Peterson show at the end. This man didn't have to step really, maybe one small step towards this guy. This guy was following him kind of closely. And this man, this boomer, who knocked the phone out of his hand, did not have a mask. So this reporter should have been keeping his distance. He didn't have to follow that closely. But I guess the reporter there, the anchor, called him Dayton or Dayton. I forget how he pronounced it. Choun or Choun? Choun? I forgot, but it was different from how I pronounced it. But he said, you guys want to be peaceful? Dai Man Chun. Thank you. Wow, good memory. That's Chris. You guys want to be peaceful? Be peaceful. You want to be violent? Come to me. And the reporter came to him. I mean, it didn't give much warning, but he just kind of backhanded like that the reporter's camera phone out of his hand. And Chun, too, I found out, was once, according to this university website feature on him, was once expelled for fighting. Just an interesting side note. Once expelled for fighting. This is from University of St. Thomas. Once expelled for fighting, Dai Man Chun turned his life around and found a passion for storytelling. Now the 360 journalism alum has advice for other students. And it's a whole, puff piece on this young man. Muscular young man, they describe him as being. Just an interesting thing. Cambodian, I guess. I think I caught a glimpse of that article saying that he was a Cambodian refugee or something along those lines. So not exactly a peaceful person himself. And as we all know, most journalists are not truly peaceful people. Excuse me, I'm spitting a little bit, but they're propagandists. They are out to smear Trump supporters and then cover for Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and Democrats, and then falsely smear Trump and his supporters. Ridiculous. When I saw that camera phone getting knocked out of his hands, I thought of the cases of liberals knocking conservatives' camera phones out of their hands. There was this one guy who was dressed up almost like a girl, and there was a female pro-life young lady who was having a civil debate, on the street corner about abortion being wrong and killing the babies with somebody else. And this guy walked up, as I recall. And then she says something to this guy, and this guy says something to her. And then she says something. And it's just purely about the issue of abortion. You have the right to kill the baby. No, you don't. And this guy winds up and kicks her and the phone out of her hands and kicks her himself. Psycho, violent, angry liberals. That's more the norm than an angry boomer, a grumpy old man who's bitter about, he's seen the country be much better than it is now. And he's reacting to evil. And maybe overreacting to evil. Looks like he was. There was this tweet by this woman, Esme Murphy. And she tweeted out the video. She's a co-worker of this guy. A journalist, a reporter, an anchor. She tweeted out this, I am outraged by this violent attack on my WCCO colleague, friend and photojournalist Daiman in Duluth. I am so thankful he was not hurt. The venom must stop. Our photojournalists are our truest storytellers, and this video tells an important, sad, and terrifying one. Talk about drama. And there's some reaction. I said he should have been social distancing. The old dude looked like he was wrong, but I heard this journalist, too, has been expelled for fighting. Back off. And it's not worth outrage. She says, I am outraged. Prosecute this guy if he broke the law, I guess. But these sleazy reporters, it was like a nothing incident, honestly. They're a bunch of antagonistic, dishonest liberals. Some other person says, we're outraged by a media that lies to us daily. Yeah. This blue checkmark U.S. House candidate from Minnesota says, repulsive. That's Dean Phillips. Apparently a liberal, I'm suspecting. And then there's these dumb people on Twitter, this female, old lady looking thing, says, Trump supporters incite violence. Media needs to be prepared. She has it exactly backwards. Media incites violence. Democrats incite violence. Rhinos incite violence by being cowards and weak and asking to be genocided. And the Trump supporters need to be cool-headed and prepared. Stand back, stand by, as President Trump said to the to Proud Boys in the debate. You know, it's so funny. The first and most watched of this election season presidential debate. You know, no other debate's going to be watched as much as this one this year, right? Trump mentions, at the behest of this fake journalist, Chris Wallace, and fake candidate, Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is the one who brought up Proud Boys, because he's among those liberals who falsely smear the young white and Hispanic and black and Asian and every other race that's in Proud Boys. They're not pro-multicultural, but they just happen to be, because we've grown up in a forced, diverse world, and there's going to be some decent people among all those races and ethnicities who agree with what's right, which is basically what Proud Boys are. They were founded on, like, not getting into pornography and stuff like that by this Gavin McInnes guy, the Canadian center-left, I guess, kind of a guy. Sort of a libertarian, pro-Western civilization guy. I think of him as being fairly center-left. Just sort of libertarian, I think. He's explicitly anti-Nazi. I mean, he's criticized Jews and stuff before, I've seen in clips, but he's not for this, he's not for being a nasty person at all. If anything, he's too nice. Gavin McInnes, I'm referring to, the founder of Proud Boys, who, like, publicly disassociated himself from the group to help out some guys who were defending him against Antifa. And those guys got railroaded. There's like 2 or 3 or 4 or however many young men fighting against Antifa, a little brawl. Antifa is known to attack, and now they're sitting in prison, I think. It's so unjust, but that's the America that we have today. And then you have liberals in the FBI, supposedly rogue FBI agents. I don't know, the whole FBI agency is rogue. Rogue meaning gone away from the interests of America to, like, oppose true American interests. It's ridiculous. Decent young men getting smeared. They, after Trump mentioned them, saying, Proud Boys, stand back, stand by, they came up with these beautiful altered logos, because they have the logo Proud Boy, PB. It's not homosexual. I mean, don't get confused with the proud of being gay. This is proud of Western civilization, right? Pride in American pride, or if you're Canadian, you also love America. If you're one of the decent people. They tweeted out, stand back, stand by, PB, for Proud Boys, with a nice wreath thing around it. I forget what that thing is called. The leafy thing. A laurel. But they don't rest on their laurels. They stand and fight for the country and for decency, basically. And, you know, the Drudge headline says, and it's a Daily Mail headline, Proud Boys threaten to act, pledge allegiance to the president. Well, they say, yes, sir, we're standing back and standing by. Ready. But Trump said, somebody needs to deal with Antifa. So they said, well, sir, we're ready. Well, sir, we're ready. And that was Joe Biggs, who's like this. Joe Biggs is a nice guy, a family man, a former InfoWars guy, I believe. And I wasn't actually even aware that he was in Proud Boys, but I knew that he was friendly towards them, because all decent people are pretty friendly with each other. So I heard that there's even sales going on on Amazon. I can't imagine that's going to last very long, because Amazon is anti-American. I bet you they're gonna shut. I can't even imagine that anything is being sold on Amazon in favor of Proud Boys. Because they hate the South, they hate white people, they hate Christians. They censored Mike Cernovich's movie. And Mike Cernovich, like I said, have told you before, he's center left, probably even left of Gavin, I don't know. Mike Cernovich did this documentary called Hoaxed about how the media has been lying, and for decades they've been lying. They supported lies from foreign entities to get George Bush the daddy into the Iraq war or something like that. It's crazy. So the Proud Boys are having fun with this. So right on, I like it. But the mainstream media is being so phony. A supposed member of Proud Boys, according to the far left anti-American outlet Reuters, who pointed a gun, which is not a crime necessarily, was arrested in Portland. And they call Proud Boys right-wing. Yeah, there's probably a few right-wingers in Proud Boys, but it's also centrists, libertarians. Those are center-left, I would call them. Maybe even kind of a little too far left. Against the interests of the American people. But, you know, people have their opinions, some of them blind. But he pointed a firearm and fired a paintball gun, according to this story, at so-called anti-racism protesters, which they don't use any quotation marks because they're stupid. I'm referring to the media, Reuters. In Portland, Oregon, arrested early Wednesday, according to a county prosecutor. Alan Swinney, age 50, was arrested. Hours after the president told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Proud Boys are neither militia nor so-called white supremacists. It's ridiculous. But Swinney has Proud Boy tattooed on his right arm, indicted September 11th for allegedly spraying mace, causing harm with a paintball gun, and pointing a revolver during demonstrations. Demonstrations, riots, attacks by Antifa. Have there been any prosecutions of Antifa up in Portland, Oregon? Or Black Lives Matter against Black Lives Matter? These people are the instigators. They're the criminals. These people are, for the most part, the Proud Boys are disciplined, well-behaved, and not doing anything wrong. But the so-called officials over there are corrupt. They hate Trump. There's a Multnomah County sheriff who tweeted yesterday or after the debate in which Trump said, you know, he has a lot of sheriffs and law enforcement supporting him, including, he said, maybe the Portland sheriff must have said something nice. But this Multnomah County sheriff, which includes Portland, right, up in Oregon, said, I have not endorsed him and I will never endorse him. What an enemy of America that sheriff is. Because this is plainly America or anti-America, this election. And this guy is being antagonistic, unnecessarily antagonistic and anti-Trump. Just because it's popular, probably. Politician. What a shame. But according to Mediaite, Proud Boys merchandise with Trump's stand back, stand by quote is being sold on Amazon. We'll see how long that lasts. Amazon has a history of, they banned any beautiful Confederate flag paraphernalia. You know that Confederate flag t-shirt that I bought? It was on Amazon from this liberal artist who sells a bunch of flag t-shirts, right? I bought one for myself when I saw the flag being under attack. And then I got it. Jesse Lee Peterson loved it. He wanted one or two for himself. I went back on Amazon. They're gone. And we got the news that they banned all Confederate-related merchandise. Just a false scapegoat for every now and then there's a white on black incident, right? 'Cause, 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 'c But never mind all of the black on white incidents. And never mind that the white on black incident has nothing to do with the South, has everything to do with the false smears upon the whites and the false notion that racism against blacks is a problem. It's ridiculous. And so they banned that stuff. I can't imagine them not banning this stuff too later. But we'll see. So the debate remark by Trump puts white supremacy at the focus of the campaign. Whose campaign? I don't know. It's crazy. I'm going to touch on the attack on Parscale. His wife allegedly made some claims that he so-called abused her, and then she went back and said he didn't. Which one is the truth? I tend to think, well, I don't know. Innocent unless proven guilty, right? Innocent unless proven guilty. Parscale, in my book, I say he's still okay. He's just got issues that he has to deal with. He made a mistake marrying this woman when he'd already been married and already had a kid back in '99. And there's more bias against Trump. And I have details on this wannabe cop killer. This man who was caught right on to the police. Jackie Lacey is a black female like prosecutor who's in, I think she was the district attorney or is or was. Black Lives Matter hates her, but that's not because she's a decent person. It's just because she's not radical enough. She's not anti-white enough. But they are attacking her. I think that should support her on the parts that she's right, but I don't know. I'm leery of her too. She apologized after her husband pointed a gun at Black Lives Matter who showed up on her porch, her home porch, and she apologized for him. Shameful. Women. Philosopher with the diamond. Thank you, man. Appreciate the subscriptions as well. Congrats to Tom New and others. Thank you for gifting those subscriptions. Daryl Wayne, congrats. Boone Hauer, Canadian David, Zyklon Be Still. Okay, interesting. Thank you, guys. Noah's Ark, Kansas with the diamond. Philosopher with another. Penny Rue gave a diamond and said, will you do blackface for Jesse's show tomorrow? Watermelon? Slice? Too much work. I don't know. I probably won't. Evgeny Crosby 2020 gave a diamond and said, Hake for 5 hours Friday. So much for staying awake. Oh, Evgeny. Harsh, but I appreciate the support, man. He says, here's the rest of Marcus Jones's welfare check. Aw. Thank you guys for the support. D Live. King Alpha Nerd, by the way, he clarifies the and was when I was at, because he gave me a super chat that I got confused by about the word and yesterday, I think. And he said the and was when you were asking Russ from Hampton, Virginia, something, and instead of saying yes, he kept saying and. Yeah, interesting. So you called him out for being disrespectful to Jesse, and he was like, and? Like a little girl. Oh, yeah. It's funny, because I say the word and, too, and I saw Malkuth X. He said, it bothers me when men say, and? So I wasn't sure if he was talking about me or, Russ from Hampton. I got to get to some calls, guys. A lot of people want to talk about the debates and Proud Boys. Hang tight, guys. I will get to you, but first I got to get to my second favorite caller. Do I still call him that? Earl from Michigan. Earl, how you doing? Uh-oh. Earl? Take me off of mute. I'll get to Kenny instead. Kenny in Idaho. Thank you for calling, man. What's up?
You are welcome thank you.
Yeah.
What is up? I just heard flipping through channels, on the regular free TV across the airway, the broadcast.
Yeah. From
my antenna, and I found I think it's mainstream news source. Well, they're talking heads. They had a guy calling out Biden for his bullying shenanigans.
Oh, interesting. So it
so
wasn't just Trump they were criticizing in the case.
Yeah, I think they were taking a cue from the response, because they're not reporting what their polls are actually showing. They're just reporting what makes Trump look bad.
Right.
And so
that's interesting.
On the subject, and another thing on the debates, it would have been great. It would have been great if, much the same as the Charlottesville incident, Trump would have said, "Hey, there's people in all these extreme groups that are for righteousness, and we pray that their ranks will be able to point them out and expose them and shovel them out of their group, of their groups." So each one becomes more.
It's not even fair to call Proud Boys extremists. They're centrists. They're just
letting you know by their mere presence that don't pull any funny stuff with our nation.
Yeah.
And the mainstream news, they know their days of misreporting are numbered.
Right. Yeah.
People are going the way of internet if that's the only way we can get a somewhat neutral presentation of the facts. Then we'll show our old timers. We'll show everyone we're close to how to check the YouTube and how to check the different truth sources, the real reporting.
Yep.
So it's unbiased and it's nonpartisan. It appeared there's money involved in that sheriff in Multnomah.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Going
I don't
back
know.
on what he had said.
Well, I don't know, man. These people are not. These people just go based on popularity too. It's
plausible that Soros went ahead and told that guy, "You make a public statement, I'll make it worth your while." Probably just promised.
Who knows? Who knows?
Money they know they actually get paid.
No, I mean these people are just they're wind up dolls. They're wind up puppets. You can just let them run and they'll just automatically fall in line. You don't even have to coax them, I don't think. But it's what you suggested is possible. I don't know. Appreciate it, Kenny.
Looking forward to the vice presidential and the vice presidential nominee. The challenger to debate next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Probably on your cable networks. I'm not sure who's showing it, but there'll yet be some controversy in there. Well, I don't know if we should.
I know. I hope that Mike Pence is able to stand strong against that POC female.
Oh yeah, he's a politician. He knows he knows how to.
That's my concern, is that he's a politician. But
well, I mean, he's got some of Trump's main guys coaching him.
Yeah, I want him to be real and come down hard against her, because she doesn't deserve any real respect, any real sense of legitimacy. Anyway, Kenny,
true.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
Okay, well, keep up the good work.
All right.
Brother.
Take care.
All right, have a good day.
All right. So, Earl, are you there? 1, 2, 3. Earl's gone. Loser. He fell asleep. Nah, I don't know. Let me get to Kenny. Not Kenny. Kevin in Indiana. Kevin, how are you doing?
James, it's been a long time. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Right on.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the debate.
Okay.
And how you felt about the stand back and stand by comment.
I loved it. It was an appropriate comment. Because right now it's better to kind of let the liberals let it get out of control and let Trump come in and fix it.
So it's okay if you got a bunch of these idiots with AR-15 running around with the polling places And it's basically, it sounds
What are you
like
talking about? Running
Trump
around
is
the
saying-
polling places. And
Oh,
who?
Trump
What
said-
idiots? What idiots?
like the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys.
The Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys are two entirely different people. And I don't
I
know.
know, but Trump is
I have
making
never
it sound
seen.
like
Hold on,
that
Kevin.
if he
Hold on.
doesn't win, he
Hold on,
won
man. Hold on.
all
Hold on, man. I've never seen Boogaloo Boys out in public. I've just seen them get arrested. I've just seen reports of them getting arrested, and reports of what they've allegedly said. Proud Boys, I don't know why you characterize them as idiots. I've never seen them around polling places. I've seen them in places where Antifa is attacking innocent people. And I've seen them up in, NorCal and the Pacific Northwest. I've seen them trying to stand and set a good example and protect the innocent. So I don't know why you would. And I haven't really seen any Proud Boys carrying AR-15s. I've seen militia members who are also very disciplined and not out to commit any violence at all, to prevent it, in fact.
Well, first of all,
so I don't know where you're getting your information.
No violence is permissible. I don't think no violence
Wrong.
is permissible. I think we should all.
Are you the one that thought?
Peaceful protest.
Are you the one who? Well, carrying a gun is not violence, okay? But are you the one who thought that that those cops who got themselves shot, one of them killed, violated that white guy's rights by trying to pull him out of his vehicle?
Oh, I haven't talked to you
Are you the
or
one who's,
Jesse in quite a while.
so it wasn't you that called me about that?
It's been a while since I've talked to either of you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I recognize your voice, so I forget.
No, yeah, I've called in quite a bit,
I think that guy was maybe from
but
Chicago.
it's been several months.
All right, cool.
But
why are you?
I watched the
I don't-
debate last night, and it just
Did you
it
disagree?
put
Hold
like
on,
a black
hold on.
eye on our country.
Let me ask you. I don't think it's a black eye. It's just kind of revealing where we are. But if you didn't realize where we are by looking at the riots and the shutdowns and how that's killing businesses, both of those things are killing businesses and people, then the debate is just a side note, honestly. It's just a nothing incident. I don't get why people are upset about that and think that it's a horrible sign and we shouldn't do it again and it's making us look bad and it's giving the cynics, it's making more cynics out of Americans. America's already messed up. I like the debates, but how come did you have an issue with President Trump's telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by?
Yes, when he said stand by, that made me and all his supporters say, hey, if I don't win, get your guns and we're going to war.
What are you talking about? That's such a lie. Are you a liberal? Proud
I'm a
Boys.
moderate.
No, okay, that means you're a liberal. Okay, but thank you.
No, I'm saying when he said that, it means like, hey, I don't want to disown you.
Of course
Yes, I
not.
can.
Why should he disown Proud Boys? They're decent men.
And several other of those groups, he's saying, hey, if I don't
What
win,
groups? What groups?
stand
You
by.
mentioned Boogaloo Boys. They have nothing to do with Proud Boys. Stand by means stand by.
with
Proud
your-
Boys, hold on, Kevin. Proud Boys have committed zero actual violence in terms of aggression. They've retaliated sometimes, but not even like retaliation. It's more like defending themselves. Maybe one guy might get a little out of hand every now and then. Like
What's the same thing?
Gets
That's
caught
the
up.
same thing on the other side.
No, it's not even close to the same thing on the other side. You're either lying or you're not paying attention or you're blind because the other side is aggressing. Somebody has to aggress, and it's not Proud Boys. So I don't know where you're getting your
It's not
just
the Proud Boys or the Boogaloo Boys.
Don't even bring up the Boogaloo Boys.
There's
Nobody
like-
even
it's
knows
like
who
the
they
whole
are.
sector on Antifa or the
Antifa and Black Lives Matter and the thugs who support those people or who come out and riot.
I don't agree with what the things that Black Lives Matter do, but I think it's a good. The message is that
the message is the worst part about
important.
them. No, the message of Black Lives Matter is the worst part about Black Lives Matter, because that is pushing a false smear upon the cops and upon America and upon men and upon white people, and upon Christians too, by the way.
No, I'm a white Christian, and I was in the Navy.
And you're a sucker if you think that Black Lives Matter has any decency in their message. They're saying,
I'm not a sucker. I'm not a loser for being in the military, like Trump says.
Oh gosh, you fell for that too, man. How do you fall for this stuff? How old are you, man? How old are you? Come on,
34.
man. 34.
I was in the Navy. My dad was in the Army. He was in Vietnam. My grandfather was on Normandy.
And
my whole family was in the military, and none of us were losers or suckers.
Well, you're a loser and sucker now, by the way you're talking, because you're just repeating lies.
No, it's not lies.
And
you heard the way
I'm not even sure that I believe what you say, because you're repeating lies about reality. And so I don't know if what you're saying is true, nor do I have any obligation to respect you just because you supposedly served in the military.
I just don't know why you and Jesse live and die with Trump. Why there's nothing he can literally
but
do
you
or
just
say.
You didn't bring a valid criticism. You just gave a pass to Black Lives Matter.
No, James.
You gave a pass to Black Lives Matter false lies, and then you criticize the Proud Boys as though they're going to commit a terror attack or start a war on the country, which is such a joke.
No, because when Trump loses,
Trump is not going to lose.
No, yes, he is. And when he does,
he's not going to lose, Kevin. He's not going to lose. You can say if, but you can't say when.
No, he is gonna lose.
No, he's not going to lose. You have to say if he loses.
No,
are you gonna vote for Trump? Because you pretended like you were a supporter.
No, I'm not a supporter.
You said we, his supporters, are going to get ready and fight a war and start a war.
No, I said his supporters.
But you have no idea who his supporters even are. You mentioned Boogaloo Boys, who are not his supporters. Those are enemies. If what's said about them is true, that they want to start a civil war, those are enemies of America. Just like Black Lives Matter, just like Antifa. I heard that they support Black Lives Matter.
I do agree that there are people in Black Lives Matter, and there are people in Antifa.
All of them.
Who are idiots, and they go crazy. They do illegal things.
All of them are idiots. They're blind.
Just like in every group.
No,
but
all of them.
When you have the President of the United States on stage saying, stand by.
Stand by. That means stand by. That means don't go out to these protests and get ready to fight.
Stand by and get your AR-15.
No, you're putting words in his mouth. You're not an honest person, Kevin. You're a dishonest person.
Okay, can I ask you one question?
Okay.
Is there anything Donald Trump could do or say that would lose your support?
No. Because he wouldn't do or say anything wrong or dishonest like you do.
That's the crazy thing I don't understand.
Because you don't understand reality. You don't understand reality, Kevin. You think Black Lives Matter has a decent message. Hold on, Kevin. What's Black Lives Matter's message that you think is decent?
That all lives should be treated equally.
That's not true. That's not their message. It doesn't even mention all lives.
I don't agree with everything.
But that's not their message. That's not even close to what their message is.
I don't agree with everyone in there, but I agree with the message that all lives should matter equally.
Then you agree with Trump, but you smear Trump.
No.
Trump says all lives matter. Black Lives Matter says Black Lives Matter, and they're falsely accusing whites and cops of not valuing black lives when it's they themselves who don't value their own lives or other blacks. In fact, they encourage blacks to riot, to resist arrest, to run from cops, including Angela Rye, who is a public figure on TV, on mainstream news, encouraging people to resist arrest and to run from cops, which is the very thing that gets many of these people killed. And blacks have been known to hate cops for decades. So you don't have a clue, Kevin.
Listen.
And Trump, and by the way, Kevin, you think that you're so informed. Are you aware that Trump made a statement clarifying what he said, what he meant by stand by and stand back? Are you aware of that? As if it wasn't clear enough. Normal people.
He came back. He had to walk it back.
No, he did not have to walk it back. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just making false assumptions. He said law enforcement should take care of it. He said let the cops do their job. He said it in the very statement. So you are a sucker.
Okay, did you know that the Proud Boys' new logo is stand backs and stand by?
Yeah, I just told about it. Weren't you paying attention? You have very low comprehension. You need to pay attention better, man.
I'll debate you any day of the week.
You're losing right now. You've lost the last 12 minutes so far.
James, we can debate all day and every day, and I will kick your ass.
Watch your language, buddy. This is a children's friendly show.
I will kick your booty.
That's even worse. Shame on you.
How is that
Are you
worse?
homosexual?
Does it matter if I am?
Answer the question.
What's wrong?
Are you
what's wrong with
Are you a
homosexual
Christian?
people?
Are you a Christian?
Yes. Well,
You're
what does it
saying
matter
you're
if
a
I am?
Christian. I can't believe a word this man says.
What does it matter?
Jesus
What does
said.
it matter if I'm a Christian? What does it matter if I'm heterosexual, homosexual? What does it matter? It does not matter.
Are you in it? Are you one of those? Is he one of those libertarians, guys?
No, we live in a country.
Are you one of those libertarians, Kevin?
No, I'm a moderate progressive. I'm a
What
Christian.
the heck? What
And
is
it
a
does not
moderate
matter.
progressive? Oh, that's like
It does
a.
not matter.
Oh, he's a communist who served in the military.
No,
That's what that
no
means.
freaking communist.
Yeah, you are. You're a sucker for communism, man. But why do you listen to Jesse's show and my show and all that? I'm curious.
You know me, right? You've heard me before. I
Yeah,
talk to
but
you.
remind me why you listen to the show and how you came across
Because
us,
it's
how long.
Because it's entertaining. I enjoy it.
Nice. Appreciate that. How long you been listening?
About a year and a half.
Cool. And
No, I do find it entertaining. It's like comedy. It's the reason I watch Fox News. It's like the reason I watch Sean Hannity.
yeah, you need to let the truth sink in sometimes. But man,
No, I watch everything. I watch every angle.
maybe you should.
I
Maybe
wanna
you should.
hear every aspect.
Do you do the silent prayer that Jesse Lee Peterson recommends? Maybe you should cut out some of all that watch time and pause and just be quiet.
No, I have my own morning meditation. I don't need Jesse's silent prayer.
That's
I
what
have
you
my
think.
own.
It's not working.
You do Jesse's silent prayer every morning?
Yeah, but it's not working, man. What a shame.
Well, why is Jesse God? I mean, why is Jesse's silent prayer?
Well, I mean, you
So-
gotta your meditation thing isn't working.
It's working for me.
Maybe in some level, but not based on anything that you've said today. You haven't said
Hey,
one
I'm not
truth.
trying to
You
get-
haven't said
I'm
one
trying to
true
have a
thing
good
except that Jesse's and I guess mine shows are entertaining. That's the one true thing that you've said, factual thing. But the whole rest of it is a bunch of lies. Anyway, man, well, let's talk again though. I actually
No,
enjoy.
like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not arguing. I like to have good conversation
Yeah.
and healthy debate.
Okay. Well.
Because that's the country needs more healthy debate.
Yeah, that's why I loved this past debate where Trump exposed the liars in Chris Wallace and especially in Joe Biden.
Oh, come on. Chris Wallace is more on Fox News. Chris Wallace is Fox News. He's more
And-
Republican.
No, he's not. He's a Democrat. He's liberal.
Oh,
But, man-
no. Don't say that just because he called out Trump. You can't
It's not
call
just
him
because
a Democrat.
he didn't call out Trump. He was a kiss-up. He's a registered Democrat. Thanks, Kevin. Let's talk again, though.
He just said that, hey,
Appreciate
Mr.
you, man.
President, you need to calm down and stop interrupting.
I know, he's acted
That's
like
all he said.
he acted like somebody's mother, only kissing up to the boy who's actually right. And meanwhile, he's letting the boy who's actually evil slide. I should call him a man. The man who's
He had
right.
to be the father.
Blaming the man.
Because Donald Trump
And
wouldn't
then
stop-
Joe Biden, the woman,
Trump-
all out of control. Shut up, man.
Donald Trump wouldn't.
They're
stop
actually
talking.
selling stuff that says,
wouldn't let-
will you shut up,
He
man?
wouldn't let Joe Biden
On his
talk for
store.
5 seconds.
Because he's addressing the lies, man. You got to cut in and address the lies one at a time. If you let all these strings of lies, you forget which lies there have been said, and you are at a loss what all to say. So you got to cut in sometimes. But Kevin, let's talk again later, man. Another day.
All right, buddy. I respect you, and like no disrespect.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right.
Let's try Earl. He called back and is begging. He's like, please let me back on. Earl, how you doing?
Oh, how you doing, big liar?
Why you call me a liar?
Be funny.
Why you call me a liar? Nick said you were begging
Who said
on
that?
bended knee. He's like, please,
okay.
I want to talk to James.
No, he told me you were begging me to come on. So I don't know what's the truth.
We're both lying about what Nick said.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Adios, amigos. Buenos dias.
It's not adios, it's buenos dias. Yeah. I thought you were saying goodbye. Nice to hear from you, Earl. What'd you want to say about the debates?
One thing I want to talk about the debate, and another thing that struck me that you said on a different topic, if I may. The first thing on the debate, I'm sure you heard you watched the debate and so forth, and I agree with Russ, your caller from yesterday from Virginia.
Of course you do.
Of course, because he speaks his mind, and he doesn't try to suck up to you to get your approval, but he tells you how he feels and what he thinks is right or wrong.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between him and you. You think blind loyalty is some kind of virtue.
Loyalty is
but
good.
Anyway,
Loyalty is good.
no, it ain't. Sometimes it's foolish.
Well, it depends on what you're loyal to.
Yeah, like Trump. That's foolish.
Trump is loyal to America.
No.
Yeah.
You believe every lie Trump says, you're a fool. That's why it's foolish.
He hasn't said any real lies.
That's where you just lied.
He said some little lies that don't really matter.
I think you can count on one hand the truth he told compared to the lies.
He told the truth about Charlottesville.
You'll be right.
There are good and bad people on both sides. He told the truth about what's coming in from Mexico, that they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, crime, rapists, and some he assumes are good people. Told the truth about that. He told the truth that Obama spied on his campaign. And on it goes. That is on one hand so far, but I've only done 30 seconds. Those are the truth.
That's
dummy.
all of those are lies because he has no idea the amount of good people comes from Mexico. But he just made a statement as if he knows each individual, how many is good and how many is bad.
You just lied.
You talking about
outright
millions
lied about what he said.
You just talking about millions of people from Mexico that come there all the time, and so most of them are bad, right?
He never said anything about most.
He said most.
He never said most.
And he said some are good.
He assumes. Assumes.
What is
He
some?
assumes.
Is it most of them?
Doesn't define whether it's most or
shut
not.
up. You're just wrong.
If they're illegally coming in here, and if they're coming in here voting for Democrats, they're not good people. It may be nice.
Well, that's your stupid rationalization. I won't get into that foolishness because what you say is good and bad because you like one particular party. is utter nonsense.
I don't
It's
really
not worth
particularly
even
like the
talking about.
Republicans right now. I just
It's
like
not even
what they're
worth
supposed
talking about. It's so foolish.
I just happen to like what they're
so
supposed to
childish.
stand for, but they don't stand for it.
It's so childish that it's foolish just to argue stupid nonsense or rationalization like Democrat and Republican.
Democrats are for abortion. They're for
forget it.
illegal aliens. They're for attacking whites. They're for kissing up and lying to
You're for
blacks.
just-
They're not for anything good.
You're just for
And they kiss up to
white-
women.
white
And Republicans,
racism and
I'm
white-
sorry to say, are
white
following suit.
superiority.
It's just a shame.
That's
Anyway.
what you're for. Let's be honest. You're for promoting that white is right, that it's superior, and so forth, and everything black is wrong.
You don't know me.
So I hear you. You talk it every day.
Whatever.
So, so a spade be a spade. I see.
Whoa,
your mouth
whoa. You
speaks
can't
for
say
you.
call a spade a spade. That's racist.
So let a spade be a shovel.
No, a spade is what they used to call blacks.
I know what they used to call
Yeah.
black. And
Shame
so
on
forth.
you.
And,
You're repeating slurs.
And so forth. Also, a spade is a shovel, too. Do you know that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, then. But as far as the
What's up, Kathy?
debate, as far as the debate,
You know what Kathy says about you? Before you get to the debate, I will let you say what you want to say about the debate. But
tell me what Kathy says.
Kathy says, I haven't watched you for months, and this racist, hateful, dumbed-down black still calling you. Good grief. She calls you a racist, hateful, dumbed-down black, which is what you are.
And I'm supposed to pay attention to what Kathy says. Why? And as
Because I
Russ
said
says,
so.
And
Don't be a
should
woman.
I care? Should I care what a dumb troll?
Hey, get on to what you wanted to say about the debate. You don't have to get nasty.
Well, whatever. She got nasty. But,
No, she's just expressing herself.
not
She
expressing
doesn't have to
mine.
kiss up and suck up to you. She thinks
I
for
didn't ask her
herself.
to. I didn't ask her to. What she does, she wants to kiss up to you. That's why
Please.
she defends you.
Yeah, okay, it's really
She's a
kissing
white
up to me to
racist
say
just
she hasn't
like you are.
watched. It's really kissing
She's
up to
just
me,
a white
Earl.
racist that believes everything.
Earl.
Go ahead.
It's really kissing up to me to say she hasn't watched me for. Dude, be quiet, man. It's really kissing up to me to say she hasn't watched me for months. Okay, Earl. Anyway, what'd you want to say about the debate?
Yeah, don't bring up a Kathy mess, but she's just a Karen.
Wow, you hate white women. Dang.
No, I'm just
Dang.
expressing the individual. I'm talking about
Do you find white
one
women
person
attractive?
who addressed me, and you making a federal case and making a generalization based on what somebody was calling about me, and you don't say nothing about her, do you? Does she hate black men?
I don't know. She
Did you
just left
say
a
that?
comment on YouTube. I mean,
Did
on
you say
Facebook.
that?
Earl.
Did you say that?
Earl. No, because you're clearly a nasty person. She likes Jesse.
So are you. I'm no nasty. You're just racist. That's not nasty. I don't know what is.
All right. So what did you want to say about the debates? Quickly. We got to end the first hour.
I was, that Trump supposed to be a law and order. He's supposed to be talking about law and order. And first thing order is obeying the rules. We were watched by not only our country, but countries abroad, getting an impression of what democracy is about and how debates are done. And the clown show Trump put on just debates the whole process, talking over people, disrespecting the moderator, not following rules. Thinks he's the boss.
He is the boss.
The one let people talk. You can't get a word in edgewise.
That's not
That's
true.
why so many. That's why so many Republicans that was polled later they were disappointed, and that they were really ashamed of what Trump does, and they think Biden is a better person than Trump for president.
I don't believe that. But there are a whole lot of Republican simps, meaning kiss-ups. So I wouldn't be surprised. Do you like the idea of packing the courts, Earl?
I don't know. Ask the Republicans.
All right. Thank you,
They're
Earl.
packing the
Appreciate
court.
it, man.
They won't let the Democrats pick according to the election who they want on the court, which they said 4 years ago they wasn't going to do that.
You know why?
They were going to let the person.
You know why? Because Democrats didn't control the Senate back then. Republicans
they don't have to control it.
Yeah,
that
they
wasn't
do.
the purpose.
Yeah, it is.
That wasn't the rule.
They don't have to. They don't have to respect you. Thank you,
No,
Earl.
they had to hold to their rules.
All right. Thank you,
Did
Earl.
they not?
Take care, man. Interesting points.
And you always lie about Mays. You can't tell the truth for one second of your life.
Mays is already married. You don't have to kiss up to her.
I'm just telling you what you did. She asked you who makes the laws and the rules.
She hates white people.
And
she does that because she hates whites. It's just like those people that say, who controls Hollywood? Who controls the media? You would say those people hate Jews, right? Well, same thing with Mays and whites. Same thing with Mays and whites. Thank you, Earl. Gotta run.
The fact that whites have controlled since this country been founded.
Okay.
The Senate.
All right.
The state legislature, they made the rules.
You got it, Earl.
They made the laws.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
And so forth. Admit it sometime.
Okay. Take care, Earl.
All right, Rachel.
Adios, baby Farrakhan.
Adios.
All right. We'll be back, guys. I got to take a quick break. Mary in San Antonio wants to comment on the debates. I have more instances of bias against Trump. I got to address this wannabe cop killer and details about the reparations. Hang tight, guys. I'll be right back for hour 2. What's up, everybody? I am back. It is 10:06 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It is Thursday, and I will be getting to your calls Thursday, October 1st, 2020. And I quoted that, I guess you could call it evil, Bone Thugs song. It's the first of the month. Get your government cheese. Hot Computer Smell gave a super chat in streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. You know, I'm demonetized on YouTube, which means I cannot even accept super chats from you guys. You can't donate to me on YouTube if you wanted to. Shameful. But Hot Computer Smell says, Hake is nice on his show, but savage in the chat. I like to have fun in the live chat when I'm chatting about on Sunday service or The Fallen State, which I believe there is a new premiere. Is there a new premiere coming out of The Fallen State? I believe so, tomorrow, every Friday about noon, Pacific time. King Alpha Nerd says, dang, 5 hours tomorrow? It's going to be fun. Are you going to do it from your channel or Jesse's D Live and then switch to your show? I'm thinking Jesse's D Live and Periscope as normal for the first 3 hours, and then switch to my show as normal, my channels, which includes YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all of those for my channel, my 2 hours. What do you guys want to hear? Do you want to hear any throwback Jesse stuff or clips or anything like that? Or just 5 hours straight of James and Joel and Chris? I'm assuming that that they'll be jumping in. We'll see. I wonder if Nick will prepare anything for me, or if I'll have to produce it all myself, or maybe Joel Friday here and Chris come with some stuff too. We'll see. It's going to be fun though. Let me just double check here. Oh, yeah, Red Ice TV. What's up? Nice to hear from you. Thank you for the support with a diamond on DLive. DLive.tv/Red Ice TV says moderate progressive, just a bit of communism. Yeah, man, Kevin from Indiana. Interesting person. Fan of the ladies says betas still complaining to this day. Trump 2020, woo! Yes. Appreciate the support. To this day! And he's like nearly crying. That's why you have to, I mean, I don't feel sorry for these blacks who are thinking that they're still suffering to this day.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
What's that guy's name? Deonte Wilder? Yeah. Not to be confused with this other Deonte, the cop killer, whom I will be addressing. Deonte Murray. It's crazy. But before that, I gotta get to Mary in San Antonio, Texas. She wants to comment on these debates. I was mildly disappointed with the debates, but you gotta live in the real world. So Mary in San Antonio, Texas. Mary, how are you doing?
Fine, and you're looking good as always.
Appreciate it.
I do believe it was a little aggressive on Trump's side, but who can blame him? As much as they hate him and all the evil that has been thrown on him.
Yeah.
Now, but I hate to quote other people, but like I love Michael Savage, and I know y'all have heard him and know about him.
I think he's interviewed Jesse not too long ago. He interviewed Jesse Lee Peterson.
I didn't hear
by the way.
that one.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
It was within the past couple of years, I would have to say.
Oh yeah, a
a
couple
few
of
years.
years ago I did. Yeah. But not lately.
No,
but
not
that's
in the
okay.
last few months.
The other thing is, you see, we need a lot of pride.
Wait, you said who did you say? You said Savage, right?
Yes. Savage.
Okay. I almost thought you said Michael Steele. Like my memory got messed up. Memory glitch.
I don't know about Savage, but anyway, we need more pride, more respect, and we didn't get it that debate. We need to show like optimism and pride, and we need heroes, we need leaders, and they didn't come off as that. And I believe that so much little respect, decency, values anymore. And I know that he Trump tries to represent that, but the way they try to destroy it, no matter how he presents it, and so I was disappointed.
I felt that he came off when he spoke with authority and life. And Joe
it's
Biden.
Okay to have authority in life, but you see, a lot of people don't think and act like. I mean, don't believe and think like we do, like conservatives, like
right.
We love our country.
But by being real, that's gonna awaken a few people by showing a contrast with the just speaking from the heart and telling the truth as it really is, as opposed to the repeat nonsense that Joe Biden did. All he did was lie. I don't know one true thing that he said all that night. He was a fake kiss up, and he's like, you people are dying of COVID. Squinting into the camera as if he really cares about the American people. And then Chris Wallace too, repeating the dumb. Somebody
he doesn't deserve to be a moderator. He does not deserve to be the one.
Yeah, it's like legacy affirmative action. There you go, Joe from Phoenix. When Wallace asked about climate change, this is Kathy talking on Facebook. When Wallace asked about climate change, Trump was debating Wallace back and forth. He was supposed to debate Biden, but Biden just stood there with that stupid smirk on his face. Trump signed a bill to clean plastic out of the ocean and a Clean Air Act. Trump is for what's right, and these people are, there's been this years-long campaign to force people and try to intimidate people to believe in this catastrophic man-made climate change, and it will be irreversible in 12 years or 10 years. I guess she said it 2 years ago, right? If we don't do something now. And stupid Biden is allowed by the dumb moderator to claim without evidence that the fires are evidence of climate change and the pretending that the Midwest hasn't experienced storms. They were saying, they've been changing their minds too. The next ice age is coming. It's global warming. And now they're having to say climate change. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like the way he changed his mind on the Green Deal, but I don't think so. That's just a bunch of BS.
His website, Joe Biden claimed, Trump got it out of him, that he didn't support the Green New Deal and he had the Biden plan or whatever, right? But his website says, we like the Green New Deal. The Joe Biden website.
You can't go against those evil forces on the other side that are controlling him.
Yeah,
you just can't.
They're such dishonest people. There was a man named Dr. I can't remember his name, but he was an Indian guy. He ran for office, I believe, maybe in Elizabeth Warren's district. Tried to oust Elizabeth Warren, I think. And he debunked this whole Paris Climate Accord thing and explained quite clearly how Trump was right to get out of it. It's just a money grab scheme and power grab scheme on the part of phony politicians, the UN, and the International Panel Climate Conference, whatever, and a bunch of movie stars and celebrities that bring this message, and Al Gore and all those people bring this message that, climate change is real and it's a problem. So fake. Trump is right about it. So
yes, and the other thing they're going to do is cut the mics off when they get all that. Yeah, an anonymous source with that. Show this picture of this lady who's in charge of the commission. She's like the executive director of this commission on presidential debates. This lady looks just evil, like an evil witch. And she's the head of the presidential debates. And she was there back in 2016. This is her in 2016 on the debate stage in Nevada. You recognize I forgot her name, but she's on PBS a lot. So
Janet H. Brown, I think. Yeah. Janet Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like a PBS type.
Yeah, and the other one, too. The one that's going to be the next moderator. She's awful.
Oh, really? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but when I heard it, I said, "Oh my God, not her." Why are they?
Kirsten? Are you talking about Kirsten Welker of NBC News?
No. It's an
Steve-
older lady that's been around forever.
Okay, Steve Scully is
Forgot
going to
her
be, of C-SPAN, is set to moderate the next presidential debate, I guess, Florida. Oh, you're probably, I know what you're referring to. The vice presidential debate moderator who has been with USA Today forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like 69 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget her name too, but.
See, I've been around longer than that, so I know that what those witches are, who the witches
Right.
do, and the damage they've done. The damage they've done to this country.
That's a good point. Wow, interesting input, Mary. Appreciate that.
Oh, and the other thing about Mike Wallace, he showed his colors when Obama became president. Oh, there was no doubt he adored Obama. And then when Trump came in the scene, there was no doubt, because I was a avid viewer of Fox News Sunday. I mean, I just thought it was the greatest thing. But then 2-3 years ago, man, they started trashing Trump so bad. And no matter what he said or did, they never, except for the few so-called conservatives.
Yeah.
And I got so mad, I said, I can't watch this junk anymore. It's beyond bias. It's just trash Trump. That's all it was.
Susan Page.
Yeah, that one.
Washington bureau chief for USA Today.
Why do you think she became chief?
Evil.
Oh my
Yeah, USA
God.
Today is well known in my mind to be just outright for everything wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
Ridiculous. She's covered the White House for 4 decades, 6 presidencies.
That tells you how those people have such power and what kind of people are in charge. That's what I'm afraid of for the conservative, because even like you showed the military videos, oh my God, I wanted to cry. I just said, oh, my military's gone to H. About them training the dogs and all that.
Yeah.
How can you trust the military anymore? Half of them are gone. I mean, that's a social experiment, and they're winning.
Yeah, and you know what? And they're pumping out guys like, I don't know if you heard that young man, Kevin from Indiana. He thinks that Black Lives Matter has a good message about, he thinks that Black Lives Matter is about treating people equal justice under the law or something, which is nothing to what they're talking about. But he hates Trump.
And he was ex-military?
Yeah, he said that he served in the Navy.
God.
I don't know if the Navy counts, right?
Well, you want to listen to something? If I say this out loud, I'm going to be told I cannot give my real name or my real identity, because I wrote y'all a letter and the check is in the mail, and it'll explain why.
Okay.
What about when you have relatives that are in Vietnam, veterans that hate Trump, and they have signs on their yard hating Trump?
It's ridiculous.
And it is family and friends, and I want to throw up. I can't stand it.
Well, there's a whole lot of blind, brainwashed people.
And we were raised different.
Yeah,
we were raised
I know.
different. That just doesn't make sense. And now they've gone over like psychos. To me, I call them psychos. I call them to their face.
Well,
makes me mad.
don't be distressed about it, Mary. We can get the country back. Don't dismay.
I like your enthusiasm.
I know you. It's funny because you are.
I'm the defeatist.
Yeah,
I'm the defeatist.
and yet you're wanting Trump to show some positivity and optimism.
Yes. Well, yeah, but I'm saying he is the leader of the greatest country in the world, so
on major decline.
He has to make a stand on and going, even though it was. I should always use it as a past tense. Was.
Yeah.
And he should set the example. And remember what y'all say? Keep calm and know God and feel God's presence so you can keep calm. I don't practice that because I'm not a Christian. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not a Catholic.
I recommend, Mary, you try the silent prayer. You don't have to believe in the same God thing. You don't have to be into that.
But y'all don't practice what you preach for Trump. Send him the messages of peace, calm, and you know what? You'll win over more hearts, like y'all say.
Okay.
Peace and
interesting,
calm.
Mary.
Peace and calm. Because that
all right.
will, I know a lot of Christians that will follow that.
Whatever. Thank you, Mary. Let's talk again.
Bye. Thanks. The check is in the mail.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much for the support. I love boomers. Awesome. So, hang tight, Art, and the rest of you callers. I will be getting to you. I got some other details about this wannabe cop killer who tried to take out a couple of cops right here in Compton, California, just south of us. A little ways south. So I have this clip, a couple of clips, A and B. This convicted this is a CBS Los Angeles headline. Convicted felon, Deonte Murray. He was indeed black. I remember arguing with the black saying, oh, it looked like it was a black dude. He said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. I could be wrong. But it was indeed, allegedly, right? Allegedly. Innocent unless proven guilty, but guilty. Charged in the Compton ambush shooting of 2 LA deputies. Watch this clip and listen if you're on audio podcast. Check this out.
36-year-old Deonte Lee Murray has been charged for the ambush shooting of 2 LA County Sheriff's deputies while they sat in their patrol car near a Compton transit station on September 12th.
Shot in the head. 10-4, copy 998, deputy shot.
We've all seen the shocking surveillance video of the shooting and the heroic actions of the wounded female deputy as she drags her partner to safety. That video, plus other compelling forensic evidence, are the basis for this prosecution.
It turns out Murray was already in custody after he was arrested and charged for an unrelated carjacking and shooting of a man driving a black Mercedes-Benz in Compton.
It's crazy. And he has a long rap sheet, if you will, of drugs, nonviolent crime, right? Nonviolent drug crime. Robbery, terrorist threats, and all kinds of stuff. This guy should not have been on the streets. So he fled in that black Mercedes-Benz sedan after running off. You see him running off, but apparently he got into this black Mercedes-Benz. And check out this part. This is the other part of the story.
When investigators identified and tried to arrest Murray in the carjacking case, he led them on a pursuit. During that pursuit, investigators say he threw a pistol from his car. Murray then abandoned his car in Linwood and a standoff began. Hours later, he was found hiding in some bushes and was taken into custody.
It was determined through ballistic comparison that the pistol recovered was the pistol used to shoot the transit services deputies. Additionally, that pistol was conclusively linked through forensic testing to suspect Deonte Murray.
In court today, Murray pleaded not guilty to the attempted murder charges. Bail has been set at $6.15 million, and he's due back in court on November 17th.
It's crazy. And you know, the blacks are going to be like, that video is doctored. So he fled in that black Mercedes-Benz. So the vehicle that he stole was September 1st, carjacking, and he shot the driver, by the way. I didn't know Compton still had stuff like that going on. I thought it had calmed down. It seemed like kind of a nice area. Photographs of the carjacking suspect seemed to match images from this ambush that you saw on that footage. And September 15th, an investigator spotted this suspect driving another vehicle, tried to stop him. He threw a gun out of the car, as you heard. On the pursuit, abandoned the vehicle in the city of Linwood. Linwood's not too bad of an area. I mean, it is, okay, it's a pretty bad area. Hispanic, but it's kind of, you know, there's some nice people who live there. I know some, or have known some. He ran off, captured after a 9-hour standoff with police. Jeez. Crime costs money, causes poverty. Ballistics testing of the gun, a so-called ghost gun, homemade and unregistered. See, even criminals are doing this too. Remember that clip of Kevin De Leon, I think is the dumb, evil, Hispanic, Democrat, California politician saying, this is a ghost gun. 35-round caliber clip, something nonsensical, in 5 seconds. Or in 0.1 seconds. Just being ridiculous. Trying to push through his stupid anti-gun laws. He is a commie, enemy of California and America and whites and blacks and Hispanics. Evil person. And he, by the way, Kevin De Leon, is the guy who passed this symbolic bill repealing Prop 187, which was overwhelmingly passed in California to say, no welfare, no free education, no free health care for illegal aliens, and it was never enforced. Betrayers of the country, these judges, politicians are disgusting. But in recent weeks, here in LA, they say demonstrators, agitators, liars, have marched to protest fatal shootings in the area. Deputies killed a black man. They capitalized the word black. August 31st. I think that was that. I call him Dizzy, but his name was Kizzy. Dijon Kizzy, who punched a cop allegedly, and he had a gun. It fell out of his. Thing of clothes. He ran from a bike stop. And then a black teenager guy, I forget that guy, the story with that guy, a black teenager was killed in 2018. But they tried to make a victim pretend that he was a victim. He was not a victim. These people are out of control, mentally ill, spiritually ill, evil. And they're getting themselves hurt. And then I say the worst people are the ones who are taking up for them, pretending that these are examples of racism and police brutality. It's ridiculous. Remember after that ambush of those cops, those two, I think they were Hispanic, one female, one male, had been on the force for like maybe a year. A handful of, and by the way, they were smeared as having been part of some like execution, hunt down black people group, right? Just make up something. Just make something up. Just to cast doubt on the truth. After the ambush, a handful of so-called protesters, meaning a bunch of agitators, including one who's old enough to know better, but he's just an overgrown black nationalist, enemy of blacks and all humanity, gathered outside that hospital saying, hey, you pigs, let us in. This is public property. It's actually private. The deputies were being treated. They blocked off the emergency entry and exit so that it was hard for ambulances to get in and out. Protesters were shouting, cussing at the cops, and one selling, I hope they die. It's ridiculous. Also, remember, I told you in Hake News, I believe, just the other day, maybe last week, that a LAPD officer down in San Pedro at the police station was attacked on, I guess it maybe it was just this past Saturday night, inside the Harbor Community Police Station in San Pedro, down by Long Beach. The assailant was recorded on surveillance video as he knocked the officer to the ground, or the floor, inside the station, pistol whipped him with his own gun, and pointed it at his chest. That officer is recovering from his injuries. And thank God a watch commander shot at the guy. He did get away. He didn't get hit. He drove off, and they led him on a pursuit. They captured him. And I wonder what that guy was, that assailant. Was he white? Was he Asian? Was he Hispanic, or was he black? I don't know. It's ridiculous. I'm going to talk about reparations. Meanwhile, while they're perpetrating all these crimes, they're scapegoating and fear-mongering about Proud Boys, who have not done anything. Proud Boys have not done anything compared to this evil that's been going on and encouraged by the mainstream media and the Democrats. It's ridiculous. I will touch on this reparations thing in a bit, but first I got to get to Art in Ohio. He's been on hold for some time. Wants to talk about the Democrats. What's up, Art?
Hey, what's up with you, buddy?
Not much. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. It seems like first I'm gonna try to stay on cue to try to remember what I was thinking or whatnot. So my problem seems to be with Earl or whatnot. It ain't really a problem or whatnot. Is that they don't seem to understand how it's supposed to work at a cookout. You know, when there's a cookout, the food gets done. You let the old people and the veterans eat first. You make their plates, and then you get the little kids. Or maybe if a couple kids is hungry, you might throw them in there with the old people and get them out the way. You see what I'm saying? Then you have the younger people eat. You see what I'm saying? It's a way that things work. And my thing is this with the debates and how I'm going to tie that in with the debates or whatnot.
Okay.
Is that you have the person that's overseeing the host of the thing or whatnot, just like you, the host of your show. See, the thing is, he doesn't understand that you have the president of the United States of America. You hold him at a different respect. You have to let him finish everything he's saying. He holds the title. We put him in there. We want to hear what he got to say. Joe is the runner-up. He's trying to get. He's a prior vice president. He's not no vice president now. He got to sit and hold his tongue. You see what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people ain't seeming to understand. And truth be told, I don't care what Trump does at this time, man. And I'm just hypothetically speaking of whatnot, because Trump, we know he has way more class. Trump could pull a bottle of Hennessy out at the thing and take a drink of it and put it up under the thing. I wouldn't care what he did at this point, because you know what? You dang on Democratic witches and you Democratic warlocks, man. We see you, man. We know what I mean? We know what you've been hating on Trump, trying to flip the narrative. You're way biased. All you Democrats, all y'all do, all the boys in the Democratic side, they listen to the females, they push over, they betas or whatnot, and then the females just over there, they're communists or whatnot, and then in the Democratic Party, you got a whole bunch of gays or whatnot. See what I'm saying? Everything's over there immoral. You see what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I mean? And with the thing is that when I'm having, then another thing, when I'm gonna go ahead, let me hear what you got to say.
So you're right. He was, but it's more than just his office. It's the substance of what he's saying. He was saying substantial answers to stuff that Joe Biden was saying. And in my opinion, Chris Wallace was the one who interrupted too much. All Trump did, a couple of times he said, wrong. And Chris Wallace interrupts Joe Biden because as Joe Biden is talking, Trump just says wrong. And he doesn't say more than that, so Joe Biden can continue to talk. And then Chris jumps in and says, hold on, you can't be doing that. You made a promise. And he just makes a big grandstanding scheme or scene about Trump supposedly not following the rules. He is actually bringing value. Trump was actually bringing value to the debate, and Chris Wallace was disrupting that. And he didn't let the conversation go naturally. It would have been much better had Chris Wallace just shut up and step up and do the right thing for a change. to quote Mazie Hirono.
That's how Democrats do, especially seeing him being the host. They don't understand their role. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He was trying to be overbearing on the president, but it just shows a lack of respect. Which that's how the the progressive and liberals move. They don't have no respect. They say they have respect for a lot of these foreigners and stuff that they moving into America, but just like y'all always say, they don't like each other or whatnot. As soon as you just hey, man, you just shake the tree, man. As soon as you shake the tree, watch and see what falls out. It's only a matter of time before all this stuff blows up in their faces. And my thing is, when you come looking for me to save you, because we know y'all can't fight over there, you mofos cock the gun and shoot yourself all up and mess yourself up. You can't defend nothing. You know what I mean? So long story short, don't be coming over here to no conservative and looking for the alpha males and the males to come clean up your mess, because I'm not doing it. And I'm pretty sure the federal government and Trump ain't going to be doing it neither. So you make your bed, you lay in it.
Yeah, man. The other thing is the mainstream media is concocting this whole fake narrative that Trump was the problem with this thing. They're calling Trump a bully. The New York Times, the failing New York Slimes, hat tip to President Trump and to Mark Levin. They're calling Trump a bully and disruptive and all that stuff when it was the other two that were just lying and disrupting and being ridiculous. So Trump had to address the lies as they came. So phony. Thanks, man. It's good to hear from you.
All right. Thank you too, man. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All right.
Bye. I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? Rick from Maine, long time no hear. He has a suggestion on how to moderate the debates. I wonder if what he thinks of the mute button. Rick, how are you doing?
Not bad, my friend. One of my favorite millennials. How are
Nice.
ya?
Doing well. It's good to hear from you.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad I had a chance to get through to you.
Me too.
I've got a suggestion. I was just talking about this with Nick, and my sister came up with this idea, and I think it's an excellent idea. So here we go. 2 candidates on stage. They're going to be doing the debate. Each one gets put in a soundproof booth. Both of their microphones are turned off until the question is asked. The moderator will ask one individual, activate his mic. The other one will be able to listen. They're asked the question, and they give an honest, uninterrupted response. Now, down to the debate, turn the other guy's mic on and let him debate between the two of them about the subject in question. They start getting unruly. They get out of control like we witnessed. The mics are turned off. So, with that being said, I think we would have a very good debate, honest debate, uninterrupted debate, if this was to happen. What do you think?
I don't know, man, because I don't see it as a problem of technical issues of people talking over each other. I think it's because Chris Wallace is not a man. He is not a man of character and honesty. No. He's just not. He maybe tries to be compared to some. He's better, but he is not a man of authority, and he doesn't have this sense to know what's right and what's wrong. He's been doing soul searching, according to the New York Slimes, and he's blaming it on Trump. He said, I didn't realize what was happening. But he's basically going off of people's reactions. So he's swayed by the opinions of the world. It was not a problem of people talking over each other or mics being on or off or, sound booths or anything. It was a problem of lies. And Trump addressed the lies. And the lies are coming from the mainstream media in the person of Chris Wallace. Yeah. And in the person of this phony enemy of all white people and an enemy of all POCs, Joe Biden. He's such a phony. That's what
they did. They took these points and they dumped gas on a bonfire.
Yep.
And Mr. Wallace.
It would have been a better debate.
I've not really been a fan of him or his father either.
Interesting.
Because they're about the same caliber.
Interesting.
We need a moderator on that stage that is willing to be unbiased.
Somebody look up
what's going on.
It's not going to happen, man.
Well, I mean, if we had somebody like, he's Fox.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly or
Tucker Carlson.
It's Tucker Carlson. That's what I was trying to think of. They would be a very good moderator for this situation. But when you got someone that is already biased towards conservatives and you throw him into a ring like that, he's going to be a lion after a piece of meat.
Yeah,
He's gonna go for it.
You know who the next moderators are? Steve Scully, senior executive producer, political editor for C-SPAN, 60 years old. I don't know anything about him. And then the final debate moderator, this is the presidential, is Kirsten Welker. Kirsten Welker, age 44. And it sounds like affirmative action to me. And by the way, she's married to a man named John Hughes, married in 2017, but she kept her Welker last name, apparently.
Yeah.
A 5'3" female is going to so-called moderate the debate between Trump and Biden. I say the moderators stay out of the way this time. So,
Yes.
appreciate it, Rick. It's nice to hear from you.
Take care, buddy. Have yourself a great day.
Thank you. You as well. Take care.
All righty.
All right. Okay, hang tight, Maze. I'm going to get to you. This is my favorite caller. I don't know if I should still be calling her that, but whatever. Let me quickly cover this dumb thing. Reparations. It's been coming up more and more and more and more and more and more and more because evil doesn't stop pushing. And when you don't stop pushing, it's in the Bible, by the way. When through persistence, you get what you want, whether it's evil or good. Jesus once made the statement about some woman that's bugging this king. Is like a parable, right? Some woman is bugging this king about stuff that she wants from him, right? He's supposed to give her something. And not because the king is a good-hearted person, but because of her persistence, he gives it to her. And it's kind of like keep on seeking after God, I guess, was the meaning of the parable. But it's also just a reality of life. These people, Jesse Lee Peterson makes this point all the time. These evil people do not stop. They don't rest on their laurels. Whether they win or they lose, they keep on pushing. They always want more and more. Evil always grows. So reparations is and always has been a silly concept pushed by silly and evil people, liars. And let me just show you a few pictures of these evil liars. Drudge reports California is going to study reparations for blacks, and they capitalize the word blacks. Even Drudge is kissing up to that. I don't know if it's Matt Drudge anymore, but under a new law signed by the beta governor with the beta baby, Gavin Newsom. I almost called him a rhino. He's a Democrat. Cousin to Joanna, or second cousin or something like that, to Joanna Newsom, the harpist who has a weird voice. Sacramento Bee Governor Gavin Newsom. Oh, and here's a picture of a screenshot from Congress.gov. H.R. 40 from 2019-2020, the 116th Congress, introduced, sponsored by Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat from Texas. Evil black female. They too have been studying and developing reparations proposals for African Americans. Ridiculous. And I got pictures of those sleazy people too. That happened I guess the hearing was last July. Look at this woman. This is the black female who introduced the California proposal. They will have a task force consider paying reparations for slavery. Gavin Newsom signed this law, and it calls for a 9-member task force. This is Gavin Newsom. It looks like an older picture when he was a little bit younger. He has such a phony smile. I had never really looked at him before, but I saw him in the Democrat National Committee convention, and he is such a phony, over-smiley person. Saying, if you don't think climate change is real, come to California. Look at these fires. No evidence. No evidence. So they're gonna report and they're just basically, this law is supposed to come up with propaganda to convince and brainwash Americans, including children, that there are horrible effects of slavery and systemic discrimination to this day on black Californians.
To this day.
Is Deonte Wilder a Californian? You know, the only thing affecting black Californians is their black anger that's encouraged by the Democrats and the stupid rhinos who kiss up to them. And the stupid social media establishment and the stupid corporate establishment. Is it wrong for me to say stupid so much? Am I setting a bad example for the kids? But it is. Shirley Weber is that black female from California, Democrat representing San Diego. What is up with you, San Diego? You're supposed to be a bunch of conservatives and Mexicans. She chairs this black caucus that was on their priorities list. Can you believe that? California Legislative Black Caucus, the reparation bill. among this year's priorities, along with capping parole periods and repealing the state's ban on affirmative action. They want affirmative action, which is also, affirmative action is an enemy of black people because it just makes everybody think, oh, you just got in on affirmative action. It only breeds resentment among everybody. She's wearing a mask. She's going to need more than that to get healthy. I could just imagine what Joelle would say about her. Is she wearing a dog tag? This woman. Voters are deciding next month, by the way, whether to back the affirmative action thing. We got rid of affirmative action in California, de jure, by law, but de facto, the whole culture is a culture of affirmative action. De facto affirmative action. They talked about de facto segregation or whatever versus de jure segregation by law. Well, you know, back in the South, supposedly in history, blacks were supposedly discriminated against de facto because the culture was against them, supposedly, right? Well, in reality, the culture is kissing up to the blacks, and that's the worst thing for everybody. Believe me. So California joined the United States as a free state in 1850, but the state legislature in 1852, passed the California Fugitive Slave Law, which legalized white people keeping slaves that they brought to California before statehood as long as they're taken back to the South. Interesting. So what? So what? Slavery is nothing to apologize for. It's something to be proud of. The former slaves should be proud. If there's any alive today, I don't think they are. And the former slave owners should be proud. It's quite a feat. I would not want to own a slave. Seems like too much trouble. I would not want to be a slave. Seems like I'd rather have my freedom. I don't know. But there's many ways in which we are slaves, and it's worse. Spiritual slavery, mental slavery, fear. Whites are slaves to fear. Blacks are slaves to anger. Anger and fear are the same thing, right? Up to just a few decades ago, claims the Sacramento Bee, also an enemy of America, many cities in this state of California kept black residents out of owning homes in desirable neighborhoods in a practice called redlining. And they're not telling you the whole story with that. The federal government gave $20,000 to more than 80,000 Japanese Americans for its role in detaining them in internment camps. Thank you. That was FDR. That was the Democrat who gave us the New Deal. A commie, basically, a socialist. Helped with the destruction of the country. North Carolina set aside $10 million for those forcibly sterilized by the state's eugenics program between 1929 and 1974. Whatever that's about. Don't know. But Asheville, North Carolina is it Asheville, North Carolina? I heard that they're doing the reparations thing in July. The City Council of Asheville, North Carolina unanimously voted to establish a community reparations commission that will put funds and resources toward benefiting the city's black residents. It reminds me of what happened with the Indians. You know, the American Indians, they got all this money and then they're just lazy like bumps on a log. Miserable people. As soon as they get kicked out of the tribe because the tribe wants to have fewer Indians so that more money will go around for the fewer Indians. I know some neighbors down the street from where I grew up. They were bumps on a log, and then they got kicked out of their tribe. And then suddenly they've got jobs and their lives improved. That's what's going to happen with this reparations crap. So look at these pictures from the U.S. Congress in 2019, I guess July, maybe January, I don't know. A hearing on slavery reparations. So ridiculous that they're giving any legitimacy to this. Actor Danny Glover. Is that the guy from Lethal Weapon? And he was also in, like, Angels in the Outfield, maybe. He's looking old and decrepit and unhappy. Actor and political activist. I like that look on that black lady behind him. And he's sitting next to this evil son of a Black Panther, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote the case for reparations. He's looking bored. Like he knows he doesn't belong there. He knows that it's affirmative action, that they're even talking about this. De facto affirmative action. And Senator Cory Booker, disgusting, disgraceful, wild-eyed Democrat from New Jersey, who's kisses up to homosexuals and everything else that's wrong, and women, and he is Spartacus. Possible, I don't know what. They all testified on slavery reparations before a House Judiciary Committee. Isn't that so ridiculous? What a mockery of America. And people want to act like the debate was a mockery of America. This is a mockery of America. Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat from Texas, sponsored this bill calling for the commission to study and provide reparations proposals. Talked about the legacy of slavery and quoted current-day statistics on blacks. Ta-Nehisi Coates addressed comments made by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky. Look at this nasty woman. Who Mitch McConnell rightly opposed reparations, but this guy says, Coates, he says, for a century after the Civil War, black people were subjected to a relentless campaign of terror, a campaign that extended well into the lifetime of Majority Leader McConnell. What a liar. This is the same guy who teaches his kid, his son, and he wrote a whole book to his son, Between the World and Me, about feeling sorry for themselves about racism. And he knows, he is well acquainted with black violent crime. And yet he's a liar, hates America, enemy of America, propped up by the far left outlet, The Atlantic, at one point. Disgusting. No validity at all. It won't help them. It's not deserved. And it's only going to be ill-gotten gain. Let me quickly get to Maze in Dayton, Ohio. Speaking of Lethal Weapon, though, didn't I see in Lethal Weapon a free South Africa, end apartheid South Africa poster? I saw the movie for the first time recently. I was very sheltered as a young man, as a boy. I was a little kid. And yeah, I remember them pretending that apartheid was so awful. I don't know, maybe there was some injustice happening, but they replaced it with something much worse. Always is what happens, right? What the mainstream goes with, always be leery. Let me get to Maze in Dayton. Maze, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm just marvelous as usual.
Right on.
I have a suggestion when they have the next debate. You know what it should be?
No. What do you...
Putin and Netanyahu on one side doing the debate, because that's what you spend most of your time in somebody else's country, and that's who should be the commentators. And
I wouldn't be against that. Putin and Netanyahu.
That's the best thing. Yes, Putin and... Excuse me?
Putin and Netanyahu.
Yes.
You support those people?
No, I don't.
Wow.
But that's where we are at all times, with one of those people.
Oh, you think Russia and Israel control the...
I ain't said nothing about control. I said those who should be the people that be as commentators.
And what do you mean by that? We're opening the treasure chest, guys.
And we get rid of these dumb people hollering a liberal and a conservative, because it's just as stupid. When you even hear the word come out of their mouth. Oh, liberal and a conservative. And both of them are the same
Are you going to vote for Joe Biden?
Excuse me?
You voting for Joe Biden?
My vote is personal. And I have a reason for the people that I vote for. Like I say, people don't lead me to tell me how to vote.
What made you bring up...
What I see, tell me
what made you bring up those two people?
What?
What made you bring up the purported leaders of Israel and Russia?
And then that'll take the Looney Tunes of both sides, that the Democrat this and the liberal this, the conservative this and the conservative, because y'all both put out of the same cloth.
Are you saying...
And y'all hate each other. But
are you saying, Maze, that that it shouldn't be Joe Biden versus Trump, it should be Putin versus Netanyahu?
No, I said they should be
the moderators, right?
That's who they should be, both of them.
They barely speak English.
And see what y'all have to
well,
say
Putin. Putin
and
especially barely
speaks
speaks
and
English.
the conservative. Because that is just a talking point when we hear that, too.
Why them? It doesn't make sense.
Does it make sense for the things that you're sitting here? And if you're having a debate...
It makes a lot of sense what I say.
And the one that's lost, if you're having a debate, regardless if you are the president or the vice president or you're running, if you're having a debate to try to win...
I'm going cross-eyed.
Your presidency went out the door.
I have not understood anything that she said.
If you got so many minutes to speak, you take your turn and be quiet until the next one if you got some morals. If you don't have no morals and values, you're going to keep talking when it's not your turn.
She's less intelligible than
and that's
usual.
What you should be able to see.
Okay, thank you, Maze. Appreciate
Some
it.
people can't think that far. And
right.
you keep hearing... And I asked the question, what was the last? Because I'm still waiting for this tax thing.
What tax thing?
Is it true or false? Did he pay $750?
No, he paid millions. He paid millions. Really? It's right there in the article. He paid millions.
No, it's not, because we haven't seen his taxes. We don't want
you don't need to see his taxes, woman.
We don't want no article from no.
If your vote is personal, if your vote, hold on, Maze. If your vote is personal, then Trump's taxes are personal.
Really.
Yeah.
That's where you want it to be. That's why that's where the stupidness coming in at. It don't matter.
Speaking of stupidness,
and I have another.
Where's your husband?
When Obama came,
where's your husband, Maze? Maze, where's your husband?
What are you worried about my husband for? Taking care of his business. Now, where's your wife?
I don't have one. Does he?
Don't ask me about my husband. The question I
does he work? Is he still working?
What are these crazy people?
Does he still work?
Why do you need to know?
I'm just curious.
He's not worried about you, so don't worry about him. Okay?
Does he still work?
When you get a wife, I'll give you the answer.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's retired.
But as I say, why were these people upset with Bush?
I don't know.
You don't know. You forgot. See, y'all memory is short.
Nobody's upset with Bush Obama right now except for the Trump supporters.
When that administration left, did he leave this country broke, or did he build this country from where it was the reason y'all were mad with Bush?
I don't know. It was a mess.
That's what y'all need to be thinking about.
Are you going to, Maze, are you going to blame the financial crisis on Bush when it was a long time coming, including from Clinton?
Oh, it was a long time coming.
Yeah, it was.
Bill Clinton. Always got an excuse.
Bill Clinton, hold on, Maze.
Anything else? What?
Bill Clinton said blacks should own homes. We're gonna give loans to blacks that they can't pay back so that they can all own homes. And so he started the problem. It was either him or Carter. Yeah.
When the stock market went haywire, I guess it was black people doing that too.
I don't know, but they certainly weren't part of the. They certainly weren't part of the solution, Maze.
What?
They certainly weren't part of the solution.
Yeah, really. And then you like into the banks, and I didn't hear them.
It started with the housing bubble, I heard, but really? I wasn't really paying much attention.
And they were upset before Bill Clinton came in too. Why were they upset then?
There's been evil versus want to be good throughout the history of America.
Other Bush.
And you pretend that you're so removed from all this stuff. Republicans and Democrats are the same thing. Cut from the same cloth.
All kind of excuses.
All right, thank you, Maze. Appreciate it.
So they thinking and using their brain.
You have a good day.
Nasty people, as they were called.
You have a good day, Maze. You have a good day.
I have a good one. I always have a good day every day.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Yeah, and they need to learn before they open their mouth and speak, especially the old ones.
All right, take care, Maze.
So when you think about Trump,
I gotta go. She can't take a hint. I told you bye 3 times, Maze. I'm not being rude. Andrew in Ohio, you got 30 seconds. Go for it.
Well, I guess I'll explain the debate in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Joe Biden can't name any law enforcement group that supports him.
Yeah.
The Green New he said the Green New Deal will pay for itself, and then a couple lines later, no, I don't support the Green New Deal. I wish Trump would have brought up Solyndra and Crescent Dunes. There were solar energy failures. I wish he would have brought that up because he could have just destroyed Biden, and that was a missed opportunity. And when Joe Biden was asked about packing the court, and he really didn't answer the question, and he said, go out and vote, go out and vote.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. Well, nice review. Nice, quick review. Appreciate that, Andrew.
Yep, I tried.
Let's talk again, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Take care. Guys, Penny Rue with the diamond says, where's your husband, Maze? See, I'm not the only one asking, Maze. Okay. Shout out to Silosopher, Penny Rue, Ev Jenny Crosby, 2020. Red Ice TV, Noah's Ark, Kansas, Fan of the Ladies, Canadian David, Fatty Wat, Ghost Murdoch, and Cy Locked. Thank you guys for the support. We'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a fun and interesting experience, right? We'll see ya. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse's stuff. Take care, guys.
Yeah.